Okay, now today we're going to look at some food that I got. Um, First of all, this is just like a loaf of bread. You can see how big the loaf is here. About a little bit, a little bit less than what my hands could stretch, and it's kind of a wheat loaf. You just cut it. It's made at the local bakery. The, there's local bakeries everywhere I've been. Bosnia, Serbia, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, so on. And they're always really good, and the bread's really cheap. That's one of the things here that's really cheap. So this was uh, zero point 0.6 of one kym, one mark, which would be about 40 cents, about 40 cents. And it's really good. It was just baked yesterday. And then here's what's left over from some homemade jam that someone made and gave to me. It was really good. Jar's empty, as you can tell. There's a couple here, a retired couple, and that I've known since I got here, and they have a little more money than most people, a lot more than most people. But it's not that they have a lot of money, but they worked over in another country, and so their pension is based on an economy that would be similar to the U.S. I won't say exactly, but anyway. So on their scale, they have a lot of money. And anyway, this lady, whatever she cooks is just great. Um, just anything she makes is just damn good. I haven't looked in here. I don't even know what's in here. Oh yeah, right. God. Oh yeah, I see. Oh, that's some sliced up pizza, right? So now that's probably not hers. That probably came from one of the other bakeries. This it's kind of like a little cheese pie. I don't know what this particular variety is called. There is something called borek, and borek is like a kind of a pie like that. Uh, that'll have meat. It could have cheese. It could have potatoes. It could have spinach. In a small town like this, that they mostly just have the beef, or they have the cheese. Let's see here. Now let's see. Let's see what this is. Anyway, they just give me this, like once a week they'll give me. All right, okay, right now this is right. This is the same thing, but with like the beef. I would call it Bordak. It's not exactly. Maybe it is. Anyway, that's probably homemade, so it's probably like. Of course, it's really good. I already know that, but it is a little different than what you find in the store. Okay, and then there's the third little thing. Let's see what's in here. Let's see how. Oh, let's see. What is this? Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. It looks like a slice of bread, but it's real heavy. I bet this is made with like an egg. Um, I'm not exactly sure. It's definitely a bread, and it's definitely looks like it's maybe just lightly toasted in like a butter or something. Maybe even a little bit of egg, likely some combination of egg and butter. So it's a piece of bread, but it's heavy. So this other stuff has been kind of melted or cooked into it. Um, that's another thing you'll see. Anyway, that's also just great. And then anyway, right. So that's all on this trip. So anyway, she'll bring by these things at random. And that's the only time that I get these things. I don't have the money to go to a restaurant and get any of these kind of things, you know. But that's part of how I stay fed. Is someone will just show up and, you know, like them, they'll bring me things that are left over from their own meals, so I get the leftovers, which are just great, you know. Nothing bad with it being leftovers when it's just top-notch cooking. And so many of the women here just cook just incredible meals, you know. Um, let's see, what else was I going to say? Anyway, that's a nice thing, you know. People, you know, I'll get something like this, and people just kind of bring me some of these things. Anyway, that's one thing I have to be really grateful for, you know. Um, you know, there's good and bad everywhere, you know, but here, you know, there's some people who have just been really nice to me. I really couldn't have survived this long without them. That's for damn sure. Very, very sure that I couldn't have gotten by, you know, this far without all the stuff that people have done. Okay, let's see. What I had something else I was going to mention about the food and all. I'm not sure. Um, well, I'll say this much. Usually on these homemade things, like that's the cheese, the sear or the cheese. You know, of course, that loaf of bread is locally made, and whatever has the beef in it. Most of those things come from just, you know, the farm animals that people have. What's in the U.S. it would be, you know, your what do they call it now? Anyway, your farm raised um, meat. You know, because around here, you know, you see a lot of sheep and a few cows, but really mostly like the sheep or the goats and all and anyway, so it would be kind of like organic if you were in the U.S., but they don't mention that here. But they're eating, you know, just good food from the farms their whole lives, and the animals, they live a normal life the whole time that they're alive, and then one day they get whacked, you know, and but that's, you know, that's about as good as that can be. They're anyway, but the meat is really good because of that, because they come from animals that just they graze the pastures the whole time they were alive, live normally, you know. So and one way that people get by around here a lot more is that they pass these things around among them, you know. Most people have some extended family, and so they might kill like one big pig, and then they'll use every bit of it. They'll hang it up in a kind of a meat house, and then um, they'll let it cure, and you know, they separate it all out. They make sausage out of any of the scraps. They use every bit of it, and they trade it, you know, among their family. Someone else might be making you know, a lot of cheese or have a lot of milk, or someone else might have a lot of vegetables, and anyway, they trade stuff around, and the quality of that stuff is all just amazing, you know, and it's one way that they keep the cost of living down. You know, they're not running down to you know, Albertsons, you know, to buy everything, or down to Walmart to buy everything. Um, you know, this stuff gets traded at Homemade Jam. So many things, you know, kind of work that way. So anyway, that's just um, one other little thing to throw in, you know. All right.